Thank you, Nick, and the Reed Corporate crew. It's great to be here today to give everyone an update to the Trek Metals story. So who are we? Trek Metals, we are a discovery-focused mineral explorer. So we're out looking for deposits that can be transformational, as Nick mentioned, to the company and to the shareholders who invest in us. So today I'm going to talk to you about three projects that I believe really have the potential to, deliver that game-changing discovery that we're really searching for. The photo in the background here is of some earth moving that we took a couple of weeks ago. We're about to commence our maiden drill program at our Champagne Pool prospect in the Pilbara region. We're looking for high-grade gold. There's never been a drill hole into this target, so quite excited by this one. The rig should actually be turning up there today. All right, so what drives the discovery? I really feel, there's three critical parts to the story, and it's about access to a good project portfolio, access to the capital markets to be able to get the money to test those targets. You need a good team. You need with the ability to do the work technically and corporately, and then rounding it out as action. If you aren't out there drilling holes, taking rock chips, soils, you're never going to find anything. So we pride ourselves in spending the majority of the field season out in the field collecting data. So let's start with access to the project portfolio. So three projects I'd like to talk about today. We're Australian focused, majority of our projects in Western Australia and one in the Northern Territory. We've got Champagne Pool, as I pointed out, in the Pilbara region just south of Port Hedland, surrounded by a number of mining operations. So in a great district there. We've got Christmas Creek project, which is also gold in the Kimberley region at the triple junction of three origins there. We acquired that project late last year. Newmont, the world's largest gold miner, had spent 6 years and $6 million exploring that ground and everything that drew them to it. To make a really large discovery, as you need for the world's largest gold miner. They set their threshold really high. All those things still exist, and I couldn't believe that Trek was provided the opportunity to get that project. And then McEwen Hills project is in the Northern Territory, a long strike from the recent Looney discovery, niobium. Shaping up to be a world-class niobium deposit for WA1. We've got a very large land package out there which has seen very little exploration work in a hot district. So starting off, Christmas Creek, as I mentioned, it is at the triple junction of three Proterozoic origins. Anyway. We've got the King Leopold origin coming down, the Halls Creek, and then where the structures come through the Tanami, which is extremely well endowed by gold. Where they all meet is where the project's located. And the thing that really drew Newmont to the project is globally they look for mineralised domains and terrains that then trend under shallow sand cover. So it hasn't seen the historic exploration that most areas have, and they were able to use their proprietary soil sampling technique to explore undercover. They're all about the next generation of big deposits are going to be found undercover. And so this is a gridded image of the soil sampling results that Newmont did. It's coloured by gold. You've got four main prospects that are labelled there, Coogan, Martin, Zahn and Willis. They did really wide space drilling at Coogan and defined these big, broad, low-grade gold zones. So it's a big mineralised structure. For some reason, they didn't test the centre of the target, so the bullseye there, they straddled it either side. The drill lines are 1 kilometre apart, so you've easily got enough room to fit a world-class deposit in there. I came from most recently working at the Newcrest joint venture with Greatland Gold, where at Havieron, and that's looking like it's going to be a 10 million ounce deposit, and that strike length is only about 700 metres. So plenty of scope there. We're going to go drill that centre portion. Martin, I'll get into more of the detail, but they got some, so this was completely undercover, just sand cover. They defined it, went and drilled. They got high-grade gold mineralisation. They only drilled a small amount of holes. You can see the RC holes are the red triangles. Zarn, the biggest gold anomaly, when you look at the project area, they only drilled 3 RC holes centred right in the middle, and they got base metal mineralisation and no gold. So that's, was quite odd. And then they extended the soil profile out and defined a new zone of gold mineralisation that moved to the north. And structurally, it looks really interesting to the north. And the Newmont geos were really, upset that they couldn't test that zone because they're quite excited by Zarn. It also has this rare earths halo around it. So there's a lot of, appears to be overlapping mineral systems going on at Zarn, and complexity in geology is usually a good thing. And then Willis is a completely untested target. They went back and did infill soils, and it stacks up in, with bismuth, arsenic, gold, a number of elements that really stands out as a great drill target that hasn't been tested. So we're going to get out there and drill test that. So zooming into Martin, you've got some great high-grade intercepts there that just haven't been followed up. 7 metres at 4.9 grams gold, 2 at 9.65, and they're on the ends of the lines. So it's completely wide open. So and it's a big anomaly. It's 3 by 4 kilometres. They only partially tested about 500 metres of strike. The best intercepts remain open. So it's a bit of a no-brainer there. And as a nimble junior explorer, not a global gold miner, we're going out with our eyes open. We're looking for any opportunity that we can find, anything of value that we can create shareholder wealth. And the project sits 2 kilometres away from the Cummins Range rare earth carbonatite deposit. Carbonatites usually occur in clusters. We've got that gridded image there is lanthanum, cerium, yttrium. So there's some good rare earth targets that haven't been looked at. We've got IGO, have a huge land package in the Kimberley, exploring for nickel, copper, cobalt. They made a discovery recently last year at Dogleg. And they're also looking for LCT pegmatites. There's pegmatites only 16 kilometres to the northeast from the project. When I spoke to Newmont about it, they said, yeah, we saw a bunch of pegmatites. No, we didn't sample them, even got some in drilling. So we'll be keeping our eyes wide open while we're out there. But first cab off the rank this year, Champagne Pool. So a couple years ago, Trek was exploring in this area and defined an amazing soil anomaly. So I remember it was around the time that I started at Trek, and our consulting geochemist said that it was the best soil anomaly that he'd seen in his career, which sort of, knocked me off my chair, and was really excited to get out there and drill it. It's a multi-element, and we went and we drilled, and we got more of the same. We got some good silver and copper and lead, but it was really just a big, broad, nothing that really hung together as a high-grade resource. And the interpretation was that we were in a big epithermal system, but in the core, in the root of the system, and that the gold had probably been eroded away. But we didn't give up hope here, and we extended the soil profile, did some airborne EM, and we've been working through that and come up with quite a nice target along strike. So you've got Valley of the Gossans there, that big 2 kilometre long soil anomaly. And then further to the east, northeast, we've got Champagne Pool, which it appears we've got the whole system preserved there. So you've got the same element association, but you've got more of the higher level thing. So we think we're sitting above the gold, so the whole gold system should be preserved under there. So that's really exciting. We're due, like I said, the rig's meant to be rocking up there today. So we'll find out pretty soon what we've got going on there. And third project is McEwen Hills, a long strike from WA1. Historically, the Arunta region hasn't seen as much exploration as elsewhere. In the state, or states, it crosses the boundary between Western Australia and Northern Territory. And when we looked, the bottom image there is the magnetics, and you can see the WA1 holding versus our holding there in the blue. And our consulting geophysics group did all the targeting for WA1. And when this opportunity came across our desk, I showed it to them, and they said, this is a dead ringer. It's a real lookalike for Looney. You should definitely grab it. And so we did a deal and got this ground. It's just in application, but this year we've organised an on-country meeting with the traditional owners. We'll be out there next month, organising access agreement, and then we'll be doing airborne geophysics, ground geophysics, and heritage surveying this year to put us in a position to drill, this really underexplored area, which is, highly prospective, not only for carbonatite, niobium style that WO1 has discovered, but also they were originally out there looking for big copper gold deposits. And, I'd be more than happy to find a big copper gold deposit. And, we're out there looking for big deposits. This is just a slide on WA1 showing what they found. As you can see, it's once again obscured by shallow sand cover. It's a flat-lying enrichment above a carbonatite, and that's propelled them to a sustained market cap of over $500 million, currently over 700 million. It's a large deposit. So that's what we'll be getting out there to do, and it's about the team. So we've got a great technical team, and we've got a fantastically successful board, as Nick alluded to. Our board of directors, Tony Libowitz, Neil Biddle and John Young, were founding directors at Pilbara Minerals, and they brought the acquisition of Pilgangoora in and really created, got the ball rolling on that great shareholder wealth creation. And we're hoping to do it again at Trek. We are well placed with our cash at bank position of $6.1 million at the end of last year, so that allows us to get out there and drill all these targets that we have. Market cap is only 18 million with a share price of 3.5 cents. The board and management have 10%, so they've been actively buying on market and supporting the company. And it's all about action. If you're not out there drilling, you're not going to find anything. And so our plan is get out to Champagne Pool, put in a bunch of holes, as well as a bit of field reconnaissance too. We recently acquired the ground to the north from Pilbara Minerals, so we're out expanding the footprint there. And obviously, if we have any exploration success, we'll keep drilling. And then we'll move the crew up to Christmas Creek. We'll do that first pass drilling, the untested targets. We'll do the extensional drilling at the known targets. We're going to extend and infill the soil sampling. Some of the tenement where we know there's gold mineralisation, the soil sampling is on a ridiculously wide grid. It's like 2 kilometres by 1 kilometre. So we'll go do some of that, early stage work as well, see what we can generate. And we'll be keeping our eyes open for all the other commodities of interest. McEwen Hills, stakeholder engagement, target generation, and heritage clearance to get us ready for drilling. And that's the Trek Metals story. Would love to chat to you more. Come see me at the booth. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.